fluffy and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh. Wandering Willie coming in and out and out and out and in and out. Coming in and out and out and in. How did that happen? Good morning, Canada, my favorite country in the world. Today is, what is it? It's Wednesday, right? Yes, December 6th, a day that won't live in infamy, 2023. Great to have you here, as always, blah, blah, blah. Good night, boring, blah, blah, blah. Actually, we have a pretty good show for you today. Ariel Julie from the Windy City, Chicago, will be with us in hour two. She's a very good comedian. She's actually featured for my buddy Sam Talent. I want to hear about that. Of course, I want to hear about Chicago. I want to hear about fucking a lot of guys fucking your way to the top, see if that's working out. I don't know that she's fucking her way to the top. She's fucking her way to the middle or even the lower middle. I would do it if I could. I'm not being judgmental here. Listen, I'd fuck my way to the bottom and be happy with that. As long as I was, getting something for my fucking, I would do it. That's definitely what I would do. I would. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to even talk about that. Remember the other day I told you about the house that blew up in Arlington, Virginia? You remember that? Do you remember that? Because nobody else seems to remember that or give a fuck about what that was about. The cops were executing a warrant on a house. And before they actually got to knock on the door, the thing blew up sky high. Now, there's some video of it. It looks like a movie set blowing up. It's good pyrotechnics. No follow-up on that. We don't know why they were executing a warrant. What we do know is the guy's name was You. You did it. And there is an Abbott and Costello bit in there somewhere, just waiting for you. But James Yu, guy was a conspiracy theorist. This is where it gets a little interesting for me. All his social media was taken down after the house blew up. So he didn't do it because he died. He is now like ashes of you, remnants of you. There's a song in there, Abbott and Costello's song, "Remnants of You." You did it, but so he didn't take his social media down. So who did, and why? What are they hiding? What is this all about? Now, this guy was a major, according to CBS News in Virginia, there, wherever it's like an out suburb of Washington, D.C. He had made threats to government people. He had made threats to his wife. He's a major conspiracy theorist. James Yu, 56 years old. That's all we know about him. There's no follow-up on all this stuff. And there's no follow-up on all the, cases are here today and gone tomorrow. It seems like a year ago. Maybe it's less than that, but it seemed like a year ago that they got the Gilgo guy, and we haven't heard anything about the Gilgo murders guy. We haven't heard anything about that stuff. These stories are on the news for 15 seconds. You make it go, whoa, holy fuck. That's all. We got nothing for you. I want follow-up on this case, though. because this guy was up to something. I mean, houses just don't blow sky high because he fired a flare gun 3 times supposedly, and then it was like a Bugs Bunny thing where click, click, boom. It's always on the third click, and this is something I know about personally. I have personal experience with the third click. When I was 17 years old and living in a trailer park, 16 years old, living in a trailer park in Lake Wales, Florida. Jeff and I, we went out. And we were young and stupid. I said 16. That's young and stupid. And we got a frozen pizza, and we threw it in the oven, and we got high, and we were playing cards, and 20 minutes went by. Like, how's that pizza coming? It still looks frozen. Oh, the oven's not on. No, I turned it on. Oh, turned it on. Oh, did you light the pilot light? Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to light the pilot light. Here, give me your lighter. And I stuck my head in the oven and I went 1, 2, and on the third one, kaboom. The entire trailer was full of propane gas. And apparently, you could see a big blue flame from about 3 miles away. It actually blew the walls out in the trail. My head was in the oven when this happened. Now, I did come out pretty black on one side. I was half in blackface from my melted hair. My mustache was half burned off. At 16 years old, I had a full this mustache when I was 16 years old. That's a whole other story. But also, my eyes were singed together. My eyelashes were singed together. Third click. Always look out for the third click. Speaking of third clicks, here's a third click guy. Oh, my allergies again.
Whoa.
Hello, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you? How are you today? It's Wednesday. My allergies are driving me crazy. How are you? Both.
Pretty good. Mine dog coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, it's a moving experience. Mine dog coffee.
Chew you.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, the thing about that,
You did it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Yu's house, the fire department turned off the gas to his neighborhood 90 minutes before they went in.
Yeah, no, the bombs that blew up. Right, so they figured he was going to be firing a flag gun. I don't know, but the thing that blew up the house was definitely bombs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they go to deliver a warrant. They knew something was up because they turned off the gas and evacuated the neighbors.
How'd you find that out?
I asked them.
Because I'm trying to research what was going on. There's not a whole lot of information on here.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first thing Willie told me. Willie texted me last night telling me all this stuff. Willie's like, "You're not going to believe this." And Willie says, "I have like 19."
If there's anything I know is that you can't trust you people. You people are just
you.
Yeah, Willie had like 19 you jokes, and that was one of them last night. I was like, all right, I got it. I can't use any of these now because you keep saying them. It's like every time I turn around.
What do you guys have, pajama parties without me? Well, first of all, I don't
we didn't wear pajamas. That was the problem.
Yeah, we don't. Pajamas are not required.
That is so girly.
You should write some.
Yeah. I mean,
it's still gay wearing pajama bottoms. Yeah.
So what's wrong with that? Was there something wrong with that?
No. What? No.
I like wearing basketball shorts to bed, to handle the dribbling.
Now what are basketball?
I carry too much.
Like those silk. Those silk.
Yeah,
shorts.
like nylon basketball.
Now, how are pajamas gay and not so silk shorts are not? That's a conundrum.
It feels better when I rub my Johnson. I'll tell you that.
I imagine
it does.
I
you
imagine
should try it. It really does feel better.
Right.
And I also don't trust anyone named James. By the way, that's just a terrible name.
James.
Yeah.
Yeah, James. You said is the name of the guy whose house blew up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to pay attention. But
I know.
Jesus.
I know. You know, my grandfather who owns his nose, he's coming back for this nose. His name was James.
Was it? My brother's name was James. That was a bad deal.
What was I going to ask you guys? I was going to ask you something until you confused me with all this with all this stuff about
With all
you.
this talk of
It's
YouTube.
always about you. It's all about you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you
At
made
least
it
for the
about
next-
you.
At least for the next 15 minutes. Yeah, you did make it about you.
Yeah,
For the next 15 minutes.
you started this you stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
you did.
I did. You did.
But we'll forget all about you by tomorrow. By tomorrow, there'll be something else in the headlines, and we'll forget all about you.
It's not just this case. It's every single thing that comes on the news. It's a big story. It's
Right.
there for a second, and then there's never any follow up with it.
Well, it's really hard for the Matrix to like continue the stories. They just, it's just.
You denied having any thoughts of suicide or.
Well, that's been when they tried to commit him. They tried to have him committed
defendant.
like a year ago, and he was like, "No, I'm not suicidal. I'm homicidal."
No, you. I'm talking about you.
Oh, me. Yeah.
You also referenced many attempts to contact. It depends on how you say you. You.
Yeah.
You also referenced many attempts to contact the FBI, and wrote that you believed the New York Times reporter you saw on television was someone that had claimed to be an FBI agent and came to Yu's house. That's like a
That's a Southern thing. Use people.
Yeah, well, no, that's a Brooklyn thing. That's a New York thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
use
y'all
guy. Southern. Yeah.
Use guy.
Hey, come over here.
Okay.
So, it just bothered me, like, because it's not a normal thing for a house to blow sky high like that, and they're not going to ever follow up. You're never going to know what this was all about. Like, was this like some kind of terrorist attack, or this guy was like,
or with a name like you, it could have been just really bad kimchi.
Okay.
Kimchi will do that. If you ever eaten it, it will do the same thing to your insides if you're not ready for it.
But like the serial killer guy that they caught here last year, that was a big story for a week. Now, there's no follow up to that. I was thinking about calling the police. They're like, what's the deal with that? How do we do some follow up? Is there a trial date set? You
need to be careful with that, because one of the theories in crime solving is that
if you're interested in the case, probably blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Everybody on Long Island has been interested in this case for 12 years. I mean,
so you're all suspect, which I suspected all along.
That was the problem
all along. Yeah,
that's why it took so long to catch him, because there were 7 million suspects in the case.
Evil Ian here, he brings up a good point. He said that maybe he left his stove on. No follow up is needed. He left his stove on. That's what blew up the house.
They turned the gas off.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he left his electric stove on. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they turned the gas off 90 minutes before the house blew up.
Yeah.
Maybe they turned it the wrong direction. Maybe instead of going righty tighty, they went lefty loosey, and they put way more gas into the house. And the dude just lit a cigarette.
Then it probably would have went up on the first shot.
Boom! There it goes.
Yeah, but it probably would have went up on the first shot, not that 3-click deal with the head in the oven deal like I had.
What's the matter?
What do you mean, what's the matter? Are you gone? I'm not gone.
Yeah.
Willie, come in, Willie. Planet Willie. He doesn't. Maybe you should go out and come back in, dude. He doesn't even hear me. He doesn't even know I'm there.
Matt's thing, because
no.
And that's funny, because Willie thinks it's us.
No,
it's not Willie. It's you.
Is it me?
It's you. Yeah.
It usually is.
It's always you.
Yeah.
This is how we started the program.
Now you just sound like every ex-girlfriend I've ever had.
No,
some of the ex-girlfriends you haven't had.
We sound like we're reading the news about a house blowing up in Arlington, Virginia. It was you. It's always you.
See, now it just blew up.
Right. Willie blew up. Yeah. All right. So, I want to ask him about Big John Small and how we get on this radio station. Big John Small bought a radio station.
Right.
How do you buy? Because I would love to be on terrestrial radio, even if I have to give him a pre-recorded thing where I bleep out all the profanity and crap that you guys say here every day. What happened? I didn't change that. You just changed that.
No, my hands are
Willie,
right here on my thigh.
Maybe Willie changed that. Stop touching stuff, Willie.
Yeah.
This stuff. Here you go.
Yeah, stop touching our stuff. Touch your own stuff.
And I don't know if he's coming back. He's probably coming back. He's trying to come back. His stuff is. He said his sister's bringing his stuff to him in January, so he's planning on staying in Sioux Falls for a while.
Okay.
So he won't have his good equipment for another almost month. So,
Okay.
yeah. You know what? But so now coming back to news, let's talk about the news today. Rudy Giuliani, you know about the stuff with Rudy Giuliani. He's been found guilty of defamation in the Georgia's electors case. Didn't show up in court. Was told he had to show up in court and didn't show up in court. His lawyer saying he didn't hear about that, but everybody on Twitter heard about it. Twitter knew about it.
Yeah.
But also he's being sued by Hunter Biden for manipulating the data on so-called laptop.
Right.
And that, so for all the people that said, well, the laptop was real, why was the laptop story buried? Well, maybe the laptop story wasn't everything you want it to be. And so it sounds, and I always suspected this, that like you got to be really, really stupid to leave a laptop full of incriminating evidence and never go back for it in a public, like, place like that.
Or an addict.
An addict, yeah. No, definitely he's an addict. There's no.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you were an addict, you don't necessarily have to be stupid, just an addict, and you just do stupid stuff.
No, I don't know. I've known a lot of addicts, man. They don't necessarily do that kind of stuff. Like I got here's all the records of me being a total fuck up. In one place. Let me give them to somebody and just never go back from them. I've known a lot of addicts. I've never seen that behavior ever.
That's because you haven't seen every addict, just a lot of addicts.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot, but not every addict. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never seen anything close to that kind of behavior.
It could have been a cry for help.
Willie, talk to me, Willie.
Oh, was that sounding like that though?
I knew it. Yes, you have the Robert F. Kennedy voice going on. You gotta delete your I don't
Try
know.
turning your head around.
I already closed the Pornhub window. Knock it off.
You know what I think the problem is?
What? Yeah,
I think it's Willie's hat.
That didn't work last time. The last time you tried to do this headphone thing. Anyway, Kelly sent me a Star Maker thing. I think it was a Star Maker thing of you doing Boy Named Sue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't like it. I told you I don't like it. You know what I don't like about it? Is their app puts a ton of reverb on it. No, you got that still going on. Yeah. Yeah, try whatever you got to try. The Star Maker app, they put a ton of reverb on everybody. You understand that, like bad singers, if you're a bad singer, you think reverb's going to fix shit for you.
No, but it's not. Yeah, if you're a bad singer, it's not reverb that fixes it. It's actually a square wave. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, you got to get some vocal tuning software or something like that. But that's why they put all that on there. Willie's not a bad singer. He's got good pitch. And so, but so everything sounds like it's underwater. And I don't know if there's a way to turn that off, but Johnny Cash never had a ton of reverb on, or very little bit of slapback, but never like a ton of reverb, so it sounds like you're underwater.
He had sufficient verb to begin with, so he didn't have to do it a second time. Yes, I agree. Johnny Cash was really good at what he did.
All right, you're out. You're out of here. I'm doing this show by myself today. It's just I had enough of those bad jokes. Anyway, I can't wait till Ariel Julie gets here so I can ask her about Sam Talent. You know, you don't know Sam Talent, do you?
I know anything about talent at all.
No, you wouldn't know Sam Talent. Sam Talent is one of the up and coming stars of comedy. He's last year he was kind of ready to take off. It looked like his career was about to launch into the Chappelle, CK, Stanhope stratosphere, and then it just kind of leveled off since then, which is a problem. So we got to address that. Where in the middle of launch did it decide to just go atmospheric? What do they call that? What do they call that? What do they call it?
Re-entry? Burn up?
No, well, no. Circling the Earth. What is it? Orbit. Orbit.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember words like orbit? It's a four-letter word.
Because in your case, it's just too close to obit, and you don't want to deal with your obit yet.
I was just thinking that. That's just probably some truth to that. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, yeah, but I am curious what happened to Sam Talent, because he was. It seemed like he had a special. He had two specials out, like back to back. He was doing this tour. He was going everywhere. New Zealand, Australia, Europe. It was everywhere and doing very well. And then all of a sudden, now he's back in Denver, and just kind of leveled off. And I'm curious about that. How does that happen? It seems like you're ready to, I don't know, launch your career to the next level, and then not. Anyway, Rudy's not looking good here. I'm looking at pictures of Rudy, and a million stories about him on Twitter here. U.S. District Court Judge Beryl Howell, who's overseeing Rudy Giuliani's defamation case brought by Rudy Freeman and Shay Moss, blasted Giuliani for his repeated failure to comply with discovery and his attempted change of course on the eve of the jury trial.
Yeah, he tried to. He wanted to change to a judge to get rid of the jury and have the judge hear it, but he had like 2 years to make that, and that deadline had already passed. He's just an idiot. For a lawyer, he's an idiot.
It's so weird that Well, I think he's probably, because he's got to be 20 years older than. How old is Rudy Giuliani? Do we know?
I do not know.
Rudy. He's probably 20 years or more older than me, I think.
You really think he's in his 80s?
I do.
Wow. I mean, he could be. I don't know.
No, 79. 1944. So he'll be 80 in next year. He'll be 80.
He did not wear well. He did not age well.
No. I would have thought he was older than that, because let's see. He was the head of the Southern District in the 80s, the late 80s. And you don't get that position as a young person generally. So, but whatever. So I just think that's a big part of it. I think he just lost his mind. I think he was a good lawyer at one time, but he's always been mobbed up. When he was New York's mayor, and when people call him New York, America's mayor and all that stuff, 9/11, blah, blah, blah. He was mobbed up then with a Russian mob, in Sheepshead Bay, and he still has like real estate holdings that are tied to Russian investors and all that stuff. Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, he's big part of that. Not Castle Rock, something Rock,
Schoolhouse,
some Rock, a rock. No, is the real estate company that Felix Sater was running, and he's definitely one of the people who made a big money off of that kind of stuff. But yeah, he just seemed like total. He lost all his cognitive abilities, down to like a blithering idiot. Blah, 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 blah,
That's what wine and conspiracy will do that to you. Wine and conspiracy. Too much wine and too much conspiracy.
He got prostate cancer. And then even after he had prostate cancer, he was fucking around with young girls and got all that kind of stuff. I think he fucked his cousin.
Yes, he did.
There's a story in today's news, and it's probably an older story, but for some reason it's going around in today's news, about an Arkansas couple. The guy told his wife he wanted to have kids. She told him, if it's a girl, you can have sex with her. If the baby is a girl, if our child is a girl, you can have sex with her.
Now, does he have to wait for it to be old enough to consent,
I
or
would
just
think.
part of, or just like as soon as like while she's in the what do they put babies when they're born? The infirmary, ICU,
Yeah,
incubator.
incubator, obituary,
Yeah, the
obituary.
orbit. When they put him in orbit,
They
yeah.
put him in orbit. Hello,
So,
Willie. Hello, Willie.
so the baby has like if it's doesn't have any say whatsoever. It's like, oh, you got it. Oh, group hug. Oh, that's so sweet. Group hug.
I can't see you guys now. God damn it! Why you were? It was better the other way. That's fine. See, now this is hello. We see you fine. We see you, and we can almost hear you fine. But now you got some kind of
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Except the tree's the tree's not lit now. The tree was lit. What did you do to the tree? Did you unplug it?
You turned off the tree.
No,
you turned off the tree.
Oh, what were you guys talking about while I was gone?
I don't know. I
don't like these comments. Okay, yeah, there's a xylophone on the close. Okay, so I don't know why, but on that Star Maker app, if you sing the song "Closer" by 9 Inch Nails, there's a really hokey xylophone added, and it really makes it difficult to sing the song with any kind of like seriousness.
No, they never used a xylophone that I can recall.
Yeah, right. No, that's what I mean. Like
live when they perform live, they use a xylophone and 3 cowbells.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I saw 9 Inch Nails live. They
so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's actually that's where I lost my rock and roll virginity.
You got to figure out a way to turn off the reverb or turn down or reduce the amount of reverb on that Star Maker stuff, because you always sound like you're underwater, like buried in reverb. And that is a big giveaway that you're a newbie amateur. I'm sorry.
Right. So they have like different settings. And there is a custom one where you can adjust it, but the one I usually use is they have like a studio setting.
Yeah,
and so
it's bad.
Huh?
It's bad. It's bad.
Whose studio?
Yes, the studio stuff is for people who can't sing, or people who don't have, because you have good pitch, but it's for people who don't have good pitch, so they can trick themselves into thinking listen, I'm underwater. It sounds.
I'm like the Little Mermaid. I can sing the Little Mermaid.
It is, anytime you hear too much reverb, you just think as any musician who hears that would think, this is an amateur recording and an amateur thing going on. So kill a reverb is all I'm saying.
Okay. I can go to the custom one. But there's only 2 settings on it. You can go up and down on a reverb and the room size. And I don't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But see, I don't understand those. I don't know what.
Well, then play with them so you get to understand them, because room size is basically to do with the ambience, how full you sound.
Right. Now, did you? Epstein Island is trending again. It's always trending. It's almost every day. It's almost trending on Twitter.
Well, it should be, because it's a big deal. Because the thing is like, if you thought that was the only place that was happening, you're definitely wrong.
I get it. But I'm bringing this up. There's a reason I'm bringing this up, and no, Will, you don't sound like this. Somebody, one of the Fox News people asked RFQ, were you ever on Epstein Island? He said, I was on his plane twice. My wife had a relationship with him. I don't really. So they weren't expecting him to come out and admit it. Like they had asked him on, did you know Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah, I was on his plane twice. We flew to Palm Beach and had a wonderful weekend. Like, dude, the answer if you're running for president is like, no, I never met the guy. I don't know no.
Well, no, I disagree. I disagree because if you say no, I don't know the guy, and then proof that you did know him or have interactions with him comes out, you look way, way worse than if you just cop to it right away, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, a really good reporter knows the answer to those questions before they ask you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the things
I said it was on Fox, not a really good reporter.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just throwing that out there.
The thing is, the only hope is to hope nobody ever finds out, because once you admit you were on Epstein's plane, you have no chance. You got no chance.
Well, what you do is you say, I was on Epstein's plane. I was trying to rescue some young girls who should not have been there.
You want to make up that kind of crap.
Right.
Yeah.
They closed the door on me and I could not get off the plane. And so I said to those girls, let's pretend to have sex so that they'll think that we're one of them.
I was walking down the aisle and I tripped and my dick fell into her.
Wow.
That's what you want to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, yeah.
I've never tripped and fell and my dick went in. I did put my dick in the wrong hole once by accident. That was the problem.
Oh,
but that car will never be the same.
Yeah. It wasn't a car. It was the front seat of a Lincoln Town car. How'd you know that?
I'm talking about the tailpipe. It's like, as Eddie Murphy put it, the banana in the tailpipe trick.
Right.
You fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
Ian says release the Epstein flight logs. Like, the logs don't include everybody who was on the plane.
It's a private plane. It only includes what they wrote down.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really frustrating.
Everybody's name was James Yu on that plane.
That's what blew up.
Hey,
that's what blew
is this
up.
a bad time to mention I'm only going to be here the first hour. My apologies.
I thought you wanted to meet Ariel Julie.
No, I probably want to meet her too bad. That's probably the other half of why I shouldn't be here, because I don't I know I'll say something inappropriate.
What?
So why don't you wait till the second hour to tell us then? Wait till the second hour to tell us you won't be here.
This chick's been on my Facebook for at least 3 or 4 years, and
Wow.
I got no. I do. I have a meeting I need to go to.
A meeting.
AA?
High level?
No, no, the other one, GD. Yeah, no, it's getting. I have to start my 4th step. Are you guys aware of like the steps and stuff? Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that's It's not like a fraternity thing. They're all doing like dove step and stuff like that. I know stepping.
Yeah.
Of course I know stepping.
No, I met with my sponsor over the weekend, and I got to start my 4th step, which I'm really not excited about.
Wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, it's yeah.
What is the 4th step now again?
Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
Why?
As you can imagine, that's a difficult task for me.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
At least it's not being concise. If it was being concise, I would think you'd fail. But
and a moral inventory, they're taking inventory of your ethics, and you'd like say, okay, I have one, and that's it. Because that's a very short meeting.
What is it?
Really?
What is,
so really, like especially in the beginning, I got to list my resentments and my fears, and then get into like, I've never really fully understood the need for the sexual inventory. I'm really not looking forward to that. That's like.
Well, they're like count how many testicles you have.
Well, that doesn't take long. Just
that's what I'm saying. That's.
So do you have to do this like to everybody in your life? I mean,
no. Just in situation, like you basically assess the situations that upset you about your life and recognize like your part in those situations. Whether like I might have a resentment towards wife number 2, and I need to but like I need to get down to, okay, why does that still bother me? Because there are things there, that still, if I think about them, I get upset or whatever, and I got to get rid of that stuff because that's part of a large part of why I was overusing marijuana, and I would definitely say that I was overusing it because it was like an all day, everyday thing, and it wasn't. You justify stuff. You tell yourself that it's for creative. It helps me this, that, whatever, and that may be true in some regards. But what was really going on is I was having thoughts and emotions that I was uncomfortable with, and using was a really easy way for me to mask that. So I need to get rid of the thought, I need to address the thoughts and emotions that cause me to do it in ways that aren't,
I thought
good.
if you did like a morning radio show, you were exempt from all this stuff. I thought
That may be. I don't know. I don't know. I
have you
haven't I haven't I
have you
haven't
done the
checked.
12 steps before?
I have. I have.
So you got to 12, but you had to start over? Is that the deal?
Yeah, well, it's generally a good idea to continually work steps. And I mean, there is step 10 is actually continued to take a personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Um, so like there is kind of built into the steps a continuation of like what they call maintenance step. Like 10, 11, and 12 are usually considered maintenance steps. But it's like anybody who's got longevity in recovery will tell you that it's very beneficial to continually work steps, over the years. Not necessarily all the time, but
Yeah.
like, you gotta clean house. You gotta keep order.
Well, I'm a bad influence on you. Then you should not hang around with me because I'm gonna. I'm not. My brother has been in the 12-step thing for 35 years. And he's a sponsor for a lot of people. But he told me, all these guys. He was sponsoring, not sponsoring. He had some guys who he was bringing to meetings. They were biker dudes, and they weren't drinking, but they were doing the meetings. Uh,
Right.
but they were coming in all fucking tanked up on meth or fucking speeding
Right.
for years and just
Right.
bullshit in the world. Um,
Yeah. Well, and
I,
like
it
so
always feels like a mind fuck to me. Like it's like a bunch of amateur psychologists. See, this is why you shouldn't listen to me. Don't stick your fingers in your ears while I talk to GD for a second.
Watch Twitter.
Earmuffs.
Watch Twitter while he talks to me.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It it always seems like a mind fuck by amateur psychologists who never took a fucking psychology course in their life. But it almost feels a little cult like too. I mean, for me, and
Right.
I've been to one or two of those meetings as a what do they call it? The Al-Anon, the family people.
Right. Al-Anon. Yep.
Al-Anon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to fucking cause a fucking ruckus. I wanted to turn over the table and start, this is bullshit. This is a mind fuck, people. Don't fucking take not that I appreciate sobriety if people want to do that. My position on that is it's your life. Spend it however the fuck you want to spend it, but try not to hurt other people. So if you want to get high your whole fucking life, as long as it doesn't have a negative effect on somebody else, I'm all for it. The minute you start to really hurt other people, then I got to be a little judgmental on you. But
unless it's consensual and you're paying the going rate.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so like as far as like AA goes, like I think their preamble or whatever says that they're like a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope that they may solve their common problem with alcohol. Right.
Cool.
And so, and the NA program says that the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. And I think the basic idea is that you can go to you can go to a psychologist, or you can go to, and I've been to treatment I don't know how many times, and I've always appreciated having a counselor that was a former addict rather than a counselor that just learned everything from a book. Because for me in particular, it's good for me to talk to people that have been there, that know what the fuck they're talking about. And I mean, there's just like in anything, there's people that really live it, and then there's people that are just playing the game. You know what I mean? And one of the catchphrases that they have or whatever is "hang with the winners." And the reason that they say that is
why
because
are you hanging out with me then?
Well, they do mean in the regard of who you hang out with in the fellowship, but like it's one. It's important to understand. It's just one aspect of a person's life. You know what I mean? Like if you make it your everything, just like with anything, if you put too much into any one thing, your life becomes very imbalanced very quickly. And the whole reason that I decided to get clean and work some steps is because I realized that, in the last couple of years, I haven't really been doing the things that I know that I want to do. I haven't accomplished some of the things that I really want to do. And in order for me to do that, I need to get focused. In order for me to focus, I have to be clean, at least for a time, so that I can get my head straight and get to where I want to be. But I also don't want to get there and just fall off the fucking rails, because that was actually one of my biggest concerns is that, listen, I'm going to be pushing, 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 and this stuff pops and my head and my heart aren't right. I'm probably going to end up like a hot fucking mess anyway. And I don't want that. Like, I don't want to make it just to fucking, burn up and fizzle out. You know what I mean? And like I want this to career aspect.
Well, lay down on the couch for a second. Lay back on the couch for a second. What do you want? I mean, are you why do you want success in comedy or music?
Well, and it's okay. So for one, it's not just comedy or music; it's everything.
It's also
it's yeah. Listen, bro, because I know
your porn movie career. Is that what we're talking about here?
Okay, so you know what? I'm really glad you brought that up, because believe you me, buddy, I could have started an OnlyFans a long fucking time ago, and the money issue would have fucking disappeared, because like I know content creators. I know that there's girls that have talked about creating content with me.
Let me just stop you right there. You can't be jerking off and telling like this all the time. You can't be on OnlyFans and be handled like this all the time. You can't be doing that. That's be a
turn-off. What you do is you cut out the vocals and you add xylophone.
So maybe now that your sister's going to be bringing the new pod studio to you, maybe you could do own. And I'm not suggesting you do, but with your current state of technology, there's no way you could have ever done a successful OnlyFans thing, because nobody wants to jerk off to a guy talking like this.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of talking involved in going on OnlyFans. That's not.
I misled.
The reason I never did that is that's not how I want to become known. You know what I mean? Listen, I love the talent. I love the talent that my penis has, but I want to be known for my other talents.
Okay.
So,
but you answer the question now. Why do you what do you? How do you define success, and why do you want that?
Man,
see, you got off the couch. If you were on the couch, it would just pop out.
And then we were making an OnlyFans movie.
What is that? Like some penis wire you got hooked up there?
Yeah, that's the close-up. That's the close-up of that.
Wow, it looks huge.
That's what she said. No, it's not what she said at all. I can't even find the one, is what she said. Anyway, but
Kelly said no choppy moaning either. Like, oh, that's a spot, baby. Oh yeah, that's you're really doing it.
I think for me, it has a lot to do with I feel like that's the only thing that's ever gonna silence what goes on inside me. And like,
you mean like your heartbeat and your liver?
Well, no, like until I get the recognition I'm looking for, and that's what it really is more than anything. It's recognition. I want people to recognize that I am extremely talented in a lot of different ways. And dude, I get really pissed off about it sometimes, because it's like, bro, I'm a top 100 gamer. I'm also I've cashed in 3 out of the 5 tournaments that I played in. I've won a comedy award. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't anything that I want to do that I put time into that I'm not successful at. But my whole life, I was told that I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't do things, like I came up in very negative environments, and even in school, like the bullying that I got in school. Like there's a whole fucking community that I just want to shut them the fuck up forever. Like you can't ever say anything about me ever again because I done did more than any of you motherfuckers ever will. And I've already done that in a lot of aspects.
That doesn't mean that people, that still doesn't mean you can have all of that. And it doesn't mean that people are going to respect you anymore. It doesn't mean that they're going to respect you the way you want to be respected.
Okay, so even so in that time, and that's what I mean about recognition, because it's got to be, recognition from the industries that I want to involve myself in. Because at that point, if I'm recognized by the industry and by my peers and shit like that, like it doesn't, like, to me, all of that is mute now. Like none of that means anything. All that stuff y'all said, it doesn't fucking matter anymore because I proved it. I know better. You know what I mean? And even as far as like being out of prison, bro, like on the 14th, I celebrate 7 years out of prison. 7 fucking years.
Well,
and when I went into prison, they told me that I was 95% to go back. They said my recidivism rate would be 95%. They basically told me you won't know a life outside of prison because if I get hemmed up again, it's gonna be for the rest of my natural life. Probably.
Congratulations.
Okay, you know what I mean? But actually, what they were doing is they was talking about the mental prison, not the physical prison, and they thought that you would be stuck there, and they were trying to be more zen about it.
All right,
and you took it literally.
Don't worry, I'll mute GD here. Let's mute him. No, you're muted. I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. Anyway, I hate to get all serious on you. Those voices of those people that bullied you or gave you negative impact within your own, you're never ever gonna silence them or change their minds, and they're never going to come around and say, "Hey, Will, we were wrong about you. You were super."
Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't even be accepting that. I'd probably tell them to fuck off.
But you said now, because in the same breath you said acknowledgement from my peers. You said that with the same that I've won awards and all that kind of stuff. That is acknowledgement from your peers. And Jerry Irby calls you William fucking Conway for a reason.
Motherfucking go, yeah.
Whatever. So. Yeah. You do get that from your peers, but no amount of external recognition is ever going to change those scars or heal those scars. Those are going to stick with you for the rest of your fucking life.
But what makes me happy is going after, like I'm happy in the pursuit. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
Different. But that's different.
And
that's totally different.
I guess that's the payoff for me. The payoff for me is the action of doing these things, like doing my lives or singing, in front of a crowd, doing my comedy in front of a crowd. I love that. That feels amazing. There's actually nothing that I love more than performing.
See, I get that.
Performing
that's exactly why I'm still out performing at 64 years old when everybody else my age is ready to just sit on the couch and watch television with their wife and all that stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
I mean,
was that a dig at me? I don't know. Was that a dig at me? Because I was like 64. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay,
it was. Well,
but at the same time, like, I think that what I do is important because I'm really trying to. It's because it's not just about me, bro. You know what I mean? Because the thing that I understand more than anything else is that how I got treated is actually how a lot of people get treated. There's a lot of people that get shit on and knocked around by the fucking world. And I want to be one of those voices that's out there saying, you ain't got to take that shit. You can make your own path. You can make the stars shine. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you this: how far are you from the nearest assisted living program?
Oh, like to go do like some volunteer stuff? I would love to do that. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah. And what's stopping you from doing it? I would listen. I don't want to. God, I would hate to be responsible for you going off the rails or any of this stuff. But more important than going to any program and stuff, for me, there is no better validation of your value as a human being, which sounds like you. I struggle with those ideas too, and believe me, I have people my whole life telling me the same kind of things that you've heard. But there is no better validation for my own value as a person is giving back, no matter how, whether it's to old people, young people, whatever. Because you talk about silencing those voices to people getting bullied otherwise. The best impact you can have is go out and do something positive for somebody else and forget about trying to silence the negative stuff. That will happen or not happen without you. The best thing you can do for yourself is to go give to other people. Go give back.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that one of the aspects of recovery is service. You know what I mean? And which is what you're really talking about is being of service, giving back. And I mean, you know, two of the shows I have coming up, this celebration of life show that I have on the 12th in Mitchell, you know, is for it's a guy who I was in prison with, and the whole event is in honor and recognition of his sister that passed away 15 years ago. And then I'm doing the toy drive show, you know what I mean, which is, you know, part of the stuff that me and my wife argue about is the stuff that, you know, the stuff that I do for free or whatever. Because I mean, I've done fundraisers and stuff like that, but I would like to do more of the I don't have like sound equipment, and I guess if I found a
you
facility that
do,
had
you
their
just
own,
don't. You just don't have it. You have it, but you just don't have it.
right? Yeah. But yeah, no, I would love that because I don't know. I'm pretty sure I told you this before. My first real job was as a nurse aide. And when I was in prison, and I was part of the Alternatives to Violence Project, one of our outside volunteers was a chaplain in a nursing home. And she really opened my eyes to the fact that people that are in assisted living places or nursing homes, stuff like that, they're pretty much like inmates. They're so similar. Their experience of life is so similar to what an inmate's experience of life is that it's ridiculous. And all they did was get old. Like
Yeah,
when
I think that's a little extreme in comparison because
um,
I'll be in one today.
okay,
Uh,
okay, just okay. So just a comparative of what life in prison and life in a nursing home,
right,
like the parallels. Okay, they're generally the food you eat is not decided by you. It's decided by the facility.
right.
You can't necessarily leave the facility unless you're approved in some kind of way, and there's usually restrictions on that. Your family and friends oftentimes don't visit very often or don't call or don't write. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different,
I know there are some similarities, but the extreme part of it, you can leave. People, you can get signed out. People get signed out every day. People come in. People can
yeah,
go to
but
your
how many
room.
people does that happen for?
3.
It doesn't happen for all of them, that's for sure.
Not all of them, which is why I go in and I go and entertain them in
Right.
their rooms
Yeah,
at
it
their
makes what you
bedside.
do really important for sure. Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
But you know, the harshness of it. I hear what you're saying. There are some similarities, but it's an extreme comparison. It's not prison. It's not.
Right.
Believe me, if I had my choice, if somebody said where you want to go, a nursing home or prison, I'm taking nursing home seven
Right,
days a
yeah.
week and twice
And
a
my
week.
Yeah,
question is, which one is
guards are
Matt coming to sing
definitely
to me?
worse than nurse aides.
Yeah. Uh, but no, I appreciate you sharing all this stuff. Um, and again, I'm not trying to influence you anyway. I'm just sharing my thoughts on all this stuff.
No.
Um, you know, I think because I've had this conversation with my brother a lot of time because again he traded his addiction, his
For a different
many
addiction.
addictions
Right.
for being addicted. I can't, and it's a fear now that if I don't go to a
Right.
meeting, I'm gonna fall off, and
Right.
it's almost
And
like church.
I will agree that is kind of one aspect of it that I don't like. Another aspect about the recovery circles that I really don't like is how they really have a tendency to demonize anybody that drinks or smokes weed. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of people that can do those things in acceptable manners and stuff like that. And I don't really agree with that, especially me as an entertainer. Like I I have to be around it. If, you know what I mean? Like there's going to
People,
be
places,
times
and
where
things,
I'm
right?
around it.
Yeah, and there's no way you can be in the entertainment industry. And I know plenty of people who are sober, but there's no way you can be in the industry and not and live by that rule of people you associate with and the places you go and the things you do,
Right,
because you're always going to be around people who are using. And
right,
I'm a user. I mean marijuana, but which is not necessarily considered a drug anymore. It's a legal thing like
right.
cigarettes.
Dare even took it off their list of gateway drugs. Did you know that?
Right. But if you're trying to maintain your sobriety and you're around me, I'm not a good example. I'm not somebody you want to be
Right.
associating with.
Well, and I mean, and so I've been around people smoking in the last couple of weeks and stuff like that. I just don't partake. And
That's difficult. When I quit weed, and a couple of times in my life I quit weed. Even whenever somebody was smoking really good weed around me, it's like very
yeah, I
hard.
will say the better it smells, the quicker I gotta leave. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because dude, I'm the kind of, and that's the thing. Like, I'm a pothead. Like I smell good weed, my nipples get hard. You know what I mean? Like it's something different.
You know,
So
have you heard of Cole Mann? He's a English comedian. He said first non-alcoholic beer at a gig the other day. Now what are you applauding for?
He's obviously just something he wanted to share, and I'm just glad he's back.
Oh,
Glad he's
okay.
back in
No.
sharing.
Hi, Carl. Good to see you.
Yeah, you said
Not
we
see
chased
you,
him
but
away.
see
I'm just glad
see
he's
you're
back.
active.
Oh. Well, you didn't clap for Willie when he said he's been sober for
You
over
didn't
a
give
week.
a fuck about Willie.
First,
You don't give
no,
two shits.
you didn't claim that I chased Willie off. I was welcoming call back. I was not. I don't
No,
care
no.
what.
I just asking what you were clapping for, or just to get clarity
no.
around what your
God, I
little
fucking
clap
love
is
this
about.
show.
Now,
Oh my god.
because non-alcoholic beer is always a conundrum for me. It's like it tastes like beer,
Yeah.
but it doesn't taste like good beer. It tastes like
No, it
flat
doesn't taste like
flat
beer.
beer.
No.
And
To me, that would and listen, I've never had a problem. I shouldn't say. When I was young, I was just fucking drinking like crazy. I have for whatever, I don't know what demons I was trying to kill then. But ever since like 20 or 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there, where I just became a teetotaler type drinker, like a couple of drinks is enough for me. One beer, a non-alcoholic beer would just make me say, fuck this, I gotta have a good one. I gotta have a real one,
I get that sentiment exactly.
If I smoke CBD and
I wouldn't even waste my time.
It tastes really good, it tastes like real weed, but I'm not high, I'm going out and fucking smoking an ounce of real weed now.
No, I get those sentiments. I get that. I had a ginger beer that was I got it because of the name of it. It was called I think it was called Cock and Balls or something like that.
Cock and Balls.
Yeah. It's a ginger beer. It's a ginger beer. And
let's be clear here. Willie is coming out. He wants the world to know that he's had cock and balls.
No, I swear to God, it's a real beer. Or I think it's Cock and Bull. It's Cock and Bull, actually. Now that I think about it, it's Cock and Bull. But it's a ginger beer. And it was suggested to me from a friend that was like, hey, if you want a non-alcoholic choice, check this out. And it made my throat burn for 3 fucking days. It was the worst thing I ever fucking drank. Yeah, you're wrong, Kelly. It's not delicious.
Ginger is the worst.
Whoa.
Ginger is the worst fucking root ever. I don't know how ginger ale comes out being palatable, because Vivian, my friend Vivian, she gave me ginger tea one time. I had a cold. She said, you gotta drink some ginger tea. And yeah, it probably cured my cold, because I wanted to fucking kill myself after one sip.
Right, yeah. Just terrible, yeah.
Carl said he just needed something to hold, and I get that, man.
I will say though, that just ordering the beer, because I got 2 of them, because I got one for me and one for my friend that suggested it. But when I went up to the bar and ordered 2 cock and balls, please, it immediately made the girl I was standing next to start talking to me. So I was like, ooh, I just found a new in. Hell yeah. I was like, I didn't know that. Like
you
if I
ever done?
order a cock and bowl, girls will just say, what did you? Because it is, they hear you. You got to say it real loud. You got to say it real loud. Yeah, can I get 2 cock and bowls, please? And then they'll be like, what did you just order? And boom, your conversation started. There you
Right.
go.
Okay. Or the police are on their way.
What the hell? What the hell?
Hey, this guy's ordering 2 cock and balls. Have you ever tried ketamine?
I haven't, and I won't. I don't do synthetic stuff like that. I don't fuck with that.
It's synthetic psychedelics. What is exactly ketamine? It's synthetic, like LSD or something. What is it?
To be honest, I'm not even really sure. I just know that it's like anything synthesized. I don't mess with that shit.
And Katie's saying in New York, ketamine therapy is available, but not shrooms. We went straight to Special K. Now, because I know in Oregon,
cereal,
huh? Oregon. What are you saying?
See, he's talking about the Kellogg's Special K cereal.
Yeah.
That like he's referencing a 20-year-old fucking.
We gotta get rid of him. So anyway, like I was saying,
only because I'm a super nerd that I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, in Oregon you can do all those kind of things. I mean, and I've been wanting to buy these shroom gummies online. I don't trust them necessarily, but
shroom gummies.
Shroom gummies, yeah, the shroom gummies.
Now I will say I have like microdose shrooms in the past, and
I know. Well, I've been feeling like I need to have a psychedelic experience, but I don't want to go full LSD or that kind of stuff. I would love to do DMT because 15 minutes and over with.
Right. Well, and I think that could be very beneficial, and that's something that I would eventually like to do. But I'm definitely gonna do these steps first.
All right. Do you need to get off of here because we're an hour in, and you got to go to your little 4?
Yeah. Well, that and I want to get out of here before I get too flirtatious with Ariel.
All right. So. Go do your 4-step thing or 2-step thing. Your Texas 2-step. All right, get out of here. Anyway, you and your Special K. I'm stuck with Special K cereal jokes over here. I'm gonna play a commercial, and it doesn't have Willie in it.
What?
Can you guess the commercial?
Is it the one that doesn't have Willie in it?
How'd you guess?
Lucky. It was just one of those.
One of those.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do that.
I'm almost psychic.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
Yeah. Invite musicality and all that kind of crap. Listen, GD, I want you to do me a favor here. I want you to hold down the fort. Can you hold down the fort? Hold down the fort.
Sure.
Let me see. Hold down the fort. All right. Now I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. Talk to the people. I'll be really quick.
Why didn't you grab the cup of coffee while you were?
It's not enough time. I thought I'd come back and you'd be like here, like with an empty seat here, and like figuring what happened to him. He disappeared, and I wanted to give you some kind of heads up that I'll be really quick doing this. Why don't you just talk to the people? Tell people about your experience in the 12-step program and how you got sober, and when you hit rock bottom and all that kind of stuff. I'll be right.
Okay. Well, I hit rock bottom the day I joined this show. No. No, okay. I will share something with you last night. This is from last night. I participated in an open mic. I don't do many open mics. Matter of fact, I don't like open mics. I don't like to practice in front of people. I don't like to learn things in front of people. I like to learn in private. But there's an open mic that I do in New York, PA, because I'm very supportive of my friend Ron Kane. And so the open mic is called the Doghouse Open Mic, West York Inn, at the West York Inn, Pennsylvania. So last night, there was a comedian who did 3 minutes of comedy for the first time. And it was, for the most part, like most of us, when we start out, it was pretty awful. But he did have one really good joke that I really liked. And the joke was, he says, I get people, I help. He says, I have a nice job. I'm very proud of my job. I like my job. In my job, I help to get people back on their feet. I repossess cars, which I thought was, very funny joke. And the young man's name is Adolfo, Adolpho, Adolfo. And so when he's done his 3 minutes, people are congratulating him at the end of the open mic. And people are being like very nice to him. They're saying, Adolfo, great job, great job, great job. And so this one guy, now Adolfo is Hispanic. I don't remember if he's Mexican or Puerto Rican or Dominican. That's because there's so many.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, but it might to someone else. But
okay.
So Adolfo, everybody's saying, great job, great job, great job. And so this one guy, this drunken guy in the back yells, Adolfo, just like Hitler. Yeah, man. Now, everybody's reaction was, Adolfo, no, not like Hitler. It's nothing like Hitler. And it took everybody 10 minutes to realize at the end of the sentence, the man goes, yeah, man. After, like Hitler, yeah, man. And nobody acknowledged that part because we were all stuck on the fact that he was saying his name wrong. It's like, no, it's not Adolfo. It's Adolfo, not Adolf. Is just.
So you take that, yeah, man, to mean like I'm a Hitler fan? Is that what?
Well, I didn't at first,
but now you do.
But now I'm thinking, like,
in retrospect,
is possible? I don't know. But then again, he could be like a Hitler fan in the sense that he appreciated Hitler's ability, but not his results. His leadership skills, but not his results.
Wow.
But I don't know. Because we didn't get into a philosophy thing because the guy was very drunk.
Right. Adolfo, like the Hispanic Hitler.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know what's going on in Argentina there, but the guy who won down there, I forget his name.
Oh, is that Mills?
Whatever. But he's a Hitler fan. And
yes.
People are surprised by that, but South America has been very welcoming of Nazis for 50, 70 years now, 80, whatever it is. So I wouldn't be so surprised. Carl would know better than anybody. He's been to Brazil, the boys from Brazil and all that. But yeah, I definitely think like they are definitely open to Nazi philosophy down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever? You've never had a drinking problem, have you? You never had any kind of.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm aware of it because my mother was, well, she wouldn't say she was an alcoholic, but she definitely had a drinking problem, and she was abusive when she drank.
See, I'm confused about this whole alcoholic gene concept because everybody in my family on both sides. I'm not just talking about my mother's family, my father's family, extended family, alcoholics as far as you can reach. And when I was young, uh, it seemed like I was on that road. But I didn't end up. Carl's here. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl Unabomber is here. But I ended up quitting without having to go to 12-step programs. And at this point, I'll have a cocktail now and then, but one is enough for me generally. So I don't think there is such a thing as an alcoholic gene.
Well, my mother quit cold turkey.
But she still likes heated ham. Is the question?
She loved heated ham, but so she quit cold turkey. My sister was a junkie. My brother was a junkie. Both my brothers are junkies.
Let's ask Mr. Kaczynski here. Ted Kaczynski is with us from the woods in the Northwest here. He's
actually, he looks to me like an MMA fighter.
Is there, Ted, it was all your studies in mathematics.
Yes, sir.
And is there a alcoholic gene?
Yeah, but they call them dungarees.
Dispensation for alcoholism, yes, I believe so. But you've got to have behavioral issues that trigger it, like drinking shitloads. My family on my dad's side, the behavior is evident through multiple generations.
Mine too, but everybody. So how would I escape it? Because
the fucking internet.
Oh, it's fucking internet. See that? You're having problems. We see you fine. We hear you fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You never left.
You never left.
Okay.
You've been here.
Yeah, it's fine. It's weird. I get this weird thing at the moment.
But yeah, so I've been.
There we go. That just confused everyone. I don't know.
How I could have escaped it because I
it
definitely
affects, drinking affects my brain in a certain way.
To be honest, I don't think the gene is for alcoholism per se, as much as it's a gene that
compulsive behavior.
Right, exactly. And then it's a matter of what your drug of choice becomes. Like if it's alcohol, or it doesn't even have to be a drug per se. It doesn't have to be a real drug. It could be like music.
Gambling.
It could be gambling. It could be sex. It could be something else. But there's and I think back then alcohol was just prevalent and easy.
I would like to be addicted to sex.
Okay.
How do you get addicted to it? I mean,
well, it usually starts with having a partner. So I understand.
There you go.
That's my understanding of it. I could have it wrong. I may not have the whole sex thing right.
You may not.
After all, I have dreadlocks.
Have you? Yeah. Have you ever had an issue with that? Like, cause I think I probably have it. Oh, we lost Carl, but that's fine. Maybe he ducked out on it. He saw there was a woman waiting in the green room, and he got scared that he might become a sex addict. Anyway, our next guest is here from Chicago. Ariel Julie combines sass and crass, a lot of crass, in her brutally honest style of comedy and storytelling. She's actually featured for my buddy Sam Talent, which I'm excited to talk to her today. Let's welcome in from the Windy City, Ariel Julie. Ariel, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for being here. How's things in Chicago today?
Cold. Very cold.
It is cold.
Yeah.
Because we had a guy on from South Dakota the other day. He was sitting out on his porch in his T-shirt, and it looked like a beautiful day. I was like, "What the hell's going on in the middle of the country? Is it springtime there?" Not there. How is the comedy scene in Chicago?
It's fun.
It's fun?
Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of different areas in the city, a lot of different rooms, a lot of different audiences, and a bunch of talented comedians.
Now, is it like New York that you get a lot of people coming there to make it big there, or is it's just like mostly people from Illinois or maybe neighboring states only? Because like New York is a mecca for people from everywhere thinking this is where I'm going to go to make it big in comedy, and then you get people from Hoboken and you get or wherever, East Bumfuck. All those kind of places, or Chicago just kind of a draw for the local area?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like we definitely get a lot of neighboring states. Like folks come to Chicago from like Minneapolis or Ohio or like smaller scenes in the Midwest, and they'll come to Chicago to like do a lot more comedy and learn and grow. And then it does feel like if you're ready to like do the next step to like really make it, you'll probably head out to either LA or New York. Because there's just not a lot of industry in Chicago right now. So
Interesting. That's interesting. By the way, that's that is G.D. Fenderson. He's a complete failure in comedy. So
I am. And in music. Don't forget music.
He is here for people like you to feel superior to. When I have guests on, I like to point out that here's a guy who he would kill to have your position in comedy. Yesterday we had Greg Warren.
And your pillow. Yeah.
My Young Frankenstein pillow.
Yeah. What did you learn from that movie?
I understand it was a roll in the hay.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I was wondering because that's almost everybody has like a favorite line from that movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. My favorite part of that movie is when the monster is pouring like hot soup on Gene Hackman's. Was it Gene Hackman? Yeah.
Wilder.
Yeah. Oh, No, Gene Hackman in the. Yeah,
well,
Gene Hackman serving. Yeah, they were both in it, but he was pouring it like on his nuts and stuff.
It's like
yeah.
Pouring it. Anyway, where I was going to ask you yesterday, Greg Warren was here, and we're talking about levels in comedy because there are, I don't know, they haven't been well defined, like open mic, where you get to be a feature level. You're a headliner, but a local headliner, not like a, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle. Kevin Hart, top of the food chain stuff. There are these levels. And I was saying to him, like Greg Warren yesterday, that there are 2 million or more comics who would kill to occupy his level of success in comedy. Are you, do you feel like, because I asked him if there was a place where he was grateful for the level that he's achieved. I know you're never satisfied. You always want more. But have you reached that place where you are comfortable in where, and can you make sustain yourself as in your livelihood as a professional comedian?
No, I'm not there yet. I still have a full-time day job, and I work as much as I can. I average about 15 to 20 shows a month, which is great, and I love it. But they're not like crazy high paying gigs. I maybe have like really good paying gigs maybe twice a month.
Right. Yeah. How do you graduate? Because that's the $64,000 question, isn't it? Like, how do you get to the and that's on every level, going from open mic to just getting paid for the first time. It's like, how do you graduate?
Well, I mean, I can tell you how I got my first paying gig. I can tell you that was like almost 4 years ago. But as far as like getting from a place where comedy is like kind of a paid hobby, I would say, like it's a profession and I'm a professional, but it's not how I make my living. To go from there to like making a living at it.
So you're a professional on paper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a professional. I get paid to do it,
Professional in that you are a student of the craft. You perform the craft in a professional manner.
I try.
You get paid for it.
I do.
And file taxes. Taxes.
I actually have not filed taxes.
See, well, that's what I meant by professional on paper, because actually I filed.
Oh, I see what
taxes.
You're saying. The reason why I don't yet is because I haven't gotten a W-2 yet, because for you to have to claim it, it has to be an amount over $600. And I filled out W-9s for like the clubs, like Zanies and Laugh Factories has you do it. But I haven't made more than $600 from either of those places within a 1 year period, because they, first of all, they don't pay very much. So even if you did like 10 shows for them, you're still not making that amount of money.
This
so
is interesting to me because
yeah, we don't get paid super well.
Matt gets paid $600 just to answer his phone to discuss going to a gig.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I've never been paid more than $400 for a gig. So I've never had to report that income like as a comedian professionally. And then a lot of times you get paid through like Cash or Venmo. So even if you get paid.
If anybody from the IRS is listening, she's never been paid at all. The whole idea, or the whole conversation about reporting makes me a little nervous. I don't know, because in music, for the first 30 years of my career, nobody. That's statute of limitations, right? Nobody ever reported anything. It was all cash over the table. At some point, under the table, whatever, somewhere around the table, passed over the.
There was a table.
There was
a table. Was cash.
You got a table and a door, but nobody ever reported it. It was all cash business, and then some. The tax people got involved, state and federal people got involved. Now it's all W-2 contract stuff, and
people. What happened to Willie Nelson put the fear of God into everybody.
Yeah.
What we had was ASCAP people and CCAP people and BMI people going around to clubs and like mafia enforcing stuff. It's really, so all that kind of stuff. Now you work dirty, very dirty. I like that. I appreciate that.
I can work clean too, but yes, for my humor tends to go towards not clean.
Right. Now, and I appreciate that. I love that. It makes me feel at home. I whenever I talk to comedians who are strictly clean, it makes me feel like I'm not allowed to curse myself or say anything profane or even sexual or any of that kind of stuff. So I appreciate being able to talk to you. But they always say if you can work clean, that's the key to really making a living. If you can do that, you can do it anywhere. And what is your take on it? Do you feel any compulsion to kind of try to work clean ever?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm being booked to work clean, yeah. When I'm hosting at a club, for sure, they want you to be clean. So I have plenty of clean material. It took a while to get clean material that I liked and that didn't feel like I was self-editing all the time. It definitely took a while for me to write jokes that were very me and fit with my whole vibe, but happened to be clean.
Yeah.
That took a minute, but yes, I definitely have clean material because I want to work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you need.
That's interesting because corporate work you have to be really clean for.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about yesterday. He does a lot of that corporate work, and to me, it's like, can you take something that is funny? Because you talk, I shouldn't even give away about it. People should just go see your special on YouTube. But you talk about sexual type stuff. Can you clean that up without, take it, make it palatable, clean, even though it's still sexual in nature?
I guess I haven't. I don't really do much of the stuff I did in that special anymore. I've written a lot of new material since that. I basically have a new hour of material since then. So I haven't really tried to clean any of that up because they're dirty jokes, so they'll stay dirty.
Yeah.
I whip them out when the time makes sense.
I'm just saying. I did a show where they didn't tell us. They told me I could do anything I wanted, and it was an adult show. Mm-hmm. And so, and I had my hours set together, and it turns up that people brought some minors into the show, and I don't mean like canary in the coal miners. I mean like children. They brought children to the show.
Yeah.
And I was in the back, and I was like, "Holy crap! What am I saying? No, okay." So most of my stuff I can finagle, but then there was one stuff that was literally sexually explicit. It was just sexually explicit. And so when I got to that part, I said, okay, for the adults, I just want you to know that this is about sex, but I'm going to change everything sexual to making it about poker. And so I just substituted poker terms for sex. And I did it on the fly because I just didn't know that I was going to have to do it. And everybody was like, the youngers, no.
The kids.
Yeah, they didn't get it. but the adults were like having a ball because they, first of all, they knew I was doing it on the fly. Second of all, they knew that everything that I was making up as poker applied to something sexual.
Okay. Well, I just want to remind you that when I introduced you to GD, that I did say he was a failure at comedy, and now you know why.
No, that's brilliant. That's amazing. I didn't do that. I had a show in Minneapolis this summer where we did 2 shows, and I think it was the first show I don't know, I was maybe 10 minutes into my set. I was kind of bombing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like not doing great. And then this 11-year-old kid and his dad it turned out it wasn't his dad. It was actually his older brother, but it looked like it could have been his dad. They walk in the room and then they sit down right in front while I'm like kind of bombing on stage. And I'm like, I haven't even gotten to the dirty stuff yet. Like, fuck. And so I did a bunch of crowd work. I talked to the kid. That's how I found out that it was an older brother, not a dad. And then I had some fun moments with them. And then I was like, you know what? You're about to learn how the world works. And the guy was like, don't worry, he's seen Joe Rogan. I was like, yeah, but he hasn't seen me. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Joe Rogan doesn't have an OnlyFans. All right.
No, I think Rogan just makes gorilla noises on stage. I think that's what he does.
And not only that, a lot of kids
about Joe Rogan. I'm saying that our dirty is different.
Yeah.
And not only that, to be honest, most men have a Madonna whore complex, and they'll see a woman and they immediately want their mom to be like that. And when they hear the verbiage, it's like, oh, that is not like my mom.
No, that's true.
I really, there's I'm not like I've ever was a Lisa Lampanelli fan, but I always liked.
I love Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of hers, but I always liked women comedians who push the line a little bit. I mean, I think she pushes the line a lot. So
I grew up watching her on the Comedy Central roast. Like the very first roast I remember was the blue collar comedy roast. I was probably about 11 or 12 when that came out. Like I always liked her, but I always love ladies in comedy anyway. So.
I'm glad you brought up the roast thing, because when in preparing for this show on YouTube, when I putting in the keyword stuff, I have this software that recommends keywords, and if I click on your name to get the associated keywords, 97 things related to roast battles and that kind of stuff. Do you do a lot of roast battles?
No.
Why would that come up?
I mean, I did I hosted the roast of Bob Keane through Roast Battle, and I think I've done like 2 roast battles, but I'm not a big roast battle person. But it's a big thing in Chicago. It's a big part of my scene.
Right, because vidIQ and TubeBuddy, which are 2 software that do keyword recommendations. If you take Ariel Julie and click the associated keywords, all you get is a bunch of roast battle stuff, interesting stuff. I wonder what you would get if I put my name in. I'm not going to find out. It's probably really bad stuff.
Well, you can do it and just not tell anybody.
And we put GD in there, and we just get failure.
That's true. But the thing is, I'll be failing at things that hadn't even tried yet.
Right. And Tom Segura, we get failure. Tom Segura, failure.
Sure. Yeah. Reasonable.
Okay. So you haven't done the roast battle stuff. That's interesting.
I did one roast battle years ago before it was like a big thing in our scene. I did one, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and it was okay. And then I was on panel for one of the roast battles a couple months ago. And then, like I said, I hosted the roast of Bob Keane, which was through Roast Battle Chicago. But it wasn't like a battle. It was like a Comedy Central style roast with a dais and everything.
Gotcha.
Now, did I see a musical instrument on your arm?
Yes.
What is that, violin or viola?
It's a viola. Thank you.
Viola. Okay. So how long do you still play?
I do. Yeah.
How good are you?
I can play. I'm fine.
No, I'm just saying. When I just like, is that like, do you play by ear? You sight read? Because
I play by ear. I mean, I
put a tattoo on your arm, and that's forever.
Yes, you're right. I can play by ear and I can read music. I've been playing since the 4th grade. So
Generally, those kind of instruments, viola, violin, cello, all those kind of instruments, you do start out by reading music. I mean, I don't know anybody who just said, those we call them fiddlers. If you,
I'm not a viola fiddler. That doesn't vibe.
Well, no, when I was taught to play violin, they needed us quickly. They had a shortage of violin players in the orchestra when I was in the 4th grade. And so the theory was that you took kids that were very, very good at math, and you could teach them music because they were similar. And so I didn't learn musical notes. I had numbers. And so, yeah, that's how I learned to play violin. And then later on, what's that face for? It was a theory that they had back in 1968. Yeah. And it worked fine for us.
I mean, that theory has since been disproven.
I'm just saying, in 1968, it seemed to work, and it worked for us.
Yeah. My face was basically the idea that math meant you could do music. Because I know lots of people almost like, I know tone deaf isn't a real thing, but they're as close to a tone deaf as possible, who are really smart in math and science and all that kind of stuff, but really have no clue how to hit a note or.
Well, like I said, that was part of the filtering process. The first thing was that, okay, let's get the math students, and then they gave us violins and numbers, and then they see who actually had aptitude to play. Right. And so
I'm curious about the positioning of the tattoo, because it's on your inner arm, not your outer arm. It's like, are you trying to keep that hidden from the world?
I just have other stuff on my arm. There's other stuff there.
You're a Ray Bradbury fan, Illustrated Man, or Illustrated Woman in this case. So that's interesting. Yeah. A lot of your humor is based around being Jewish, obviously. In these crazy times, because in New York, I mean, it's still, there's not a whole lot of anti-Semitism that is on display in New York because we have a huge population of Jewish people. In the Midwest, though, I'm thinking it's probably a little different. Are you seeing any kind of backlash right now with all the crap that's going on in the world?
No, I mean, no. I haven't had any anti-Semitic moments, not with crowds. And I perform in teeny tiny towns in Wisconsin, Indiana, and people are pretty chill. I have jokes about being Jewish, but people know that I'm Jewish, and right. I've never had any scary moments. I will say in Chicago, people don't love it if you try to do jokes about Israel and Hamas, unless they're really good jokes. Right. If they're really good jokes, you can get away with it. But if they're not well crafted, people are not big fans.
Yeah, I haven't heard any really good jokes on those subjects.
I have some very good jokes. Yeah, I have. I don't have any. I'm not really joking about that right now, just because I haven't written a good joke about it, but I've heard some very.
Well, congratulations to whoever has, because I admire the ability to take something that is so sensitive to so many people and make it really funny. It's not an easy thing to do. And I think that's the problem. We get to the point where topics become, I have to write a joke about this. And then people who are not really good joke writers hack it up. And then they complain about cancel culture because they've written really bad jokes about a sensitive topic rather than taking time to do a really good joke about it.
Or just not joke about it at all.
Right. You don't. That's another thing. It's not everything that comes up, everything that happens in the news is not necessarily mandatory to do a joke about.
I thought it was.
No, it's not. See, that's the problem. This is why you're on the bottom of the list of people who are funnier than Tom Segura.
Yeah, but I am the 1,186,788th funniest person on the planet.
Okay.
So.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I wear that number with pride.
So now coming back to you from the perspective of taking your career to the next level, what is the plan? Do you do a lot of traveling? I know that Wisconsin, that Chicago alley, I guess, Windy Alley, Second City Alley, is a big circuit. But are you planning on expanding your territory?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled. I've performed in North Carolina. I just got back from Portland last weekend. So, yeah, I travel.
Which Portland?
Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Maine, I'm told that Maine is a really tight ass state. Portland, me.
I've never been there.
Yeah, no. From what I've comedians who've worked there said, it's one of the tougher areas to play. People just don't have a big sense of humor there.
No, that's not true.
No?
That's not true.
Okay.
I've performed many times. That's not true at all. Those comedians are probably just bad.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
No, they're probably just bad.
I don't think they are.
I think they are.
I don't think they are.
I think they are.
I think they're a lot more successful than you.
Doesn't mean they're better than me just because they're luckier than me.
Oh.
I do travel, and I would definitely be open to traveling more.
Yeah. What? You don't have to. You don't have to worry about this because this is his last day on the show anyway.
Okay.
No, but the North Carolina stuff I'm interested in. Good Nights, is that one? Raleigh, Durham, is that the area you've?
No, actually, I've been to the Idiot Box in Greensboro, Jenny Stencil's club. Love her club. Love everything about it.
Wow. Have you ever done New York? Been to New York or Long Island?
Actually, no, I haven't. I want to. I tried to set up a trip last year. The thing that was tricky about it, I know people in New York. I know a lot of comedians in New York. Great people, funny people. And when I tried to put something together, I got like a couple of people that were like, yeah, I can give you a guest spot on the show. I can give you a guest spot here, there, fine. And then a lot of people were like, well, I don't run a show or produce a show, but my friend does, and I'll vouch for you. I'll tell him about you, all of that. And then like a week later, they're like, my friend is like, I'm not going to book anyone that I haven't seen myself.
Right.
And I got that a lot. And it wasn't even like, you're not funny. It was just like, I haven't met you. I don't know you. I'm not going to book you. And I was like, well, I mean,
weird.
It's fair.
Yeah. It always baffles me that how comedians can travel without even covering their travel costs or hotel costs or whatever, to go to a city. Like I'm going to come to New York and you get opening spot or something like that. That pay is not going to cover all your travel expenses and all that.
Yeah, that's why I ended up not going, because normally I would. Like I have a day job, I have a full-time job. Like I have a little bit of money to like take a comedy themed vacation, if you will.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was really short notice of a trip. And I was like, I'm not going to spend all this money to fly out and stay somewhere just to do a couple of guest spots on a couple of empty bar shows and then a bunch of open mics with other open micers. Like it just isn't. And no offense, like I don't mean to say that that's not a good thing. It's just like it doesn't seem worth $1,000 to do.
Right. And it's not. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So that's a challenge with a lot of. I think you have to be 18 and not have any obligations and not even have rent to pay back home or any of that stuff to actually put a tour together for yourself. I mean, it seems really hard. The more established you become in life, the more you set down roots, the harder it becomes to actually pursue what you really want to do. And that's the catch-22 in life, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as writing, you say you have a whole new hour. Are you a disciplined writer, or do you write every day, or what?
No, I've talked to a lot of people about this. I try to write. I would love to be able to just sit down and just write, but like that is not how it comes to me. I'm like a conversational writer. So when I'm like having a conversation with somebody and we start riffing and bantering, or I start telling them like a story or an anecdote, and then they're like, oh, is that one of your bits? And I'm like, no, should it be? Like that's how I usually write new jokes, is by talking to other people.
Now, do you write when you do write, do you write it out, or do you just kind of like bullet point it and kind of work it out on stage?
A little bit of both. Sometimes I'll write it all the way out, or I'll write like, the gaslighting story or something, and then I'll write like, here's what the jokes were that I came up with in the moment, and then try to work it out on stage and see if I hit those beats and get those punchlines in there. It's tricky, but we're working. We try.
Yeah, good for you. No, I you know what? There are definitely different processes for everybody, and whatever works for you, works for you. I've seen your work, and I think you're really funny, and I appreciate what you do. The idea of working it out on stage, though, do you record every set and like go listen back to it and see what works and what doesn't?
Yeah, I audio record at least everything. I'll video record most of my like shows. I don't usually video record open mic sets, but I'll audio record everything and then I'll listen back to it later and be like, oh, there's another punchline in there. There's, you got twisted in your words, or you said the two things that you wanted to say, but you said them backwards, or whatever. So yeah, I listen to everything.
Yeah, that's man, I hate listening back. That's torture because
only when you bomb. When you kill, I don't mind listening back. I'm like, yeah, look at me. I'm a hero to the world. Yeah.
I have trouble listening. I make myself listen to everything, good or bad, because I don't think of it as good or bad, just experiences. But I still have that trouble because
I think of things as good and bad.
Yeah, I just have trouble watching myself.
Yeah, I beat myself up even if it was a good show and everybody loved it, but I still hear every tiny nuanced flaw of everything I've ever done, and it will haunt me. And sometimes I can't let it go. I can't sleep over. I'm waking up in the middle of the night over one note I played wrong.
It's just that it was a sustained note, and you held it for 30 seconds, and you should have let it go after 3.
Yeah, and nobody in the band even heard it. But I heard it, and it's
what my favorite part is when you have a show and you're working out a new bit, and you're like, okay, this is new. Maybe I've only done it like once. Maybe I've never done it. And then you do it on the show and it works great and it kills, but you missed a beat or like you missed a point, like that it wasn't as perfect as you could make it, but it worked great. So then you do it again on another show and you hit every single beat that you want to hit and you do it as perfectly as you could have, and it doesn't work nearly as well. And you're like,
I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
I heard Louis C.K. talking about purposely doing stuff that he thinks is going to fail.
Yeah. He talked about like opening with his hardest bit.
Right. Do you subscribe to that idea? Because I talked to Barry Katz about it, and he was like, he's a friend of Louis and all that kind of stuff. But he said he has to disagree with him. I think you should put that in towards the end of your set after you've established or that they're laughing with you or all that kind of stuff and get past it.
Louis is a comedic genius, and in my opinion, one of the greatest comedians of our generation. So
I agree.
He can fuck around and take some risks and do things that are what I would consider like the highest level of difficulty comedy wise.
Right.
I try to open with a joke. I just try to make sure that the first thing out of my mouth on stage is something that makes the audience laugh. So I try even not to open with how we doing tonight. Like I try to open with something that's a joke. Just because, I'm also, I'm a woman, and I don't want to play like the whole like women, people don't like women, but some people don't. And so for me, it's kind of more important to establish that I'm funny. I can say something that will make you laugh right away. So you're like going to be with me.
Good. Yeah.
I agree. I put my difficult stuff in the middle. The stuff that is the untested, high flying, hard stuff.
Yeah.
I put it in the middle. That way I know I have a good landing and a good takeoff. And we may have some turbulence, but we'll get through it.
Do you sense that idea about women has changed? We've hit a tipping point, because I'll be honest with you, most of my favorite comedians now are women, and maybe I'm in the minority with that, but I'm seeing more and more that whole stigma of women are not as funny as men just disappear.
It's definitely improved, certainly, but there are still small town crowds. There are still misogynistic people in the world, and they might be at your show.
Yeah, my brother is one of those people who every time I recommend a comedian who's a female, he's like, and then I send him and he said, oh, she was really good. So even though he's not open-minded to it, he once he starts hearing the material, he appreciates it. But there is still a pay gap, big difference, as far as, and is that the major concern? Is it respect among peers, or because for me, I would say the money. Recently, I played a gig where everybody loved me. But at the end of the day, all I got was my paycheck. Usually I'm used to, and this doesn't happen in comedy, I know, but I'm used to a jar full of money bills at the end. And there was like $20 in it. And like, wait a minute, if everybody loved me, where's the money? Because I'm generally taking home $200, $300 worth of tips and all that kind of stuff. Is prestige and respect among your peers, or the money more important to you?
Well, again, I mean, we talked about like my level of professionalism and everything. Now, right now, I would prefer the prestige and the level of respect among my peers. Like, I would love to again earn a living doing comedy, but I'm not there yet. So
Right.
at this point, like in my mind, the way that you get to that level is your peers respecting you and thinking that you're good and you're consistent and you're professional and you're reliable and you're funny. So
Right.
yeah, I would prefer that right now, but hopefully one day that can change
Right.
and like that respect will just be automatic and I'll be able to make more money.
That's interesting. The sound you just heard, if you did hear it, was my alarm saying we have to say goodbye to Governor's Comedy Clubs for today. We are on the Governor's Comedy Clubs network tomorrow night. Tom Green in the Levittown location. Check out